¿Te preocupas por tu familia? Entonces, ¿por qué darles solo huevos ordinarios cuando pueden disfrutar de lo mejor? Eggland's Best, los únicos huevos con ese delicioso sabor fresco de granja, además de la mejor nutrición, como 6 veces más vitamina D, 10 veces más vitamina E y 25% menos de grasa saturada que los huevos regulares, además de muchos otros nutrientes importantes. Así que, dales los mejores huevos. Eggland's Best, mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos.
There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Oh, Mothman.
Oh, yeah, Mothman.
A great white shark was stolen.
Oh, someone stole a shark?
I got stuff for you don't even know about.
She's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
Who knows? Anything could be possible. Anything could be possible.
It's really big abduction vibes.
Holy moly.
It sounds like you were abducted.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
Hello, and welcome back to Cryptids of the Corn Podcast. I am the great and powerful mystery.
And I am your magical explorer of realms, Jay.
Ooh, you don't even know the topic, and you did it pretty good.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
It's awesome.
I was just listening to that intro. I heard when you said there was a part where what has the big glowing red eyes. I hear Emily trying to mumble something out of there. Do you know what she was trying to say? And I don't know.
I think she was going for Bat Swatch.
Oh, okay. I heard
or something. I don't remember.
I heard it going.
That was
curious.
a year ago.
I know. But that's the first time I really noticed her.
I can't ever get over the shark bit.
That one's funny. Yeah, that really surprised me.
Yeah, and you even knew the topic for that one.
Yeah, but I didn't think someone would steal a shark.
We're gonna do the front of house stuff really fast. I'm not gonna repeat season 3 opener where it was 18 minutes long.
Oh gosh,
and I didn't even realize it was 18 minutes of it.
We got to give thanks.
Yeah, I mean it was a lot for season 3. Anyways, once again our live show April 22nd. That's with Hillbilly Horror Stories in Poasttown Elementary in Middletown, Ohio.
Get your tickets. Come see us.
Yep.
Come say hi.
It's gonna be fun. We got all kinds of videos and stuff we're gonna go over. It's gonna be like our basic show we do, but with some video elements added in. It's going to be awesome. There's an hour, so it's 6 to 10 p.m. There's an hour before to hang out, and there's an hour after to hang out. Gwendolynn is going to be our MC, so she's going to be there. It's going to be a ball. Come hang out. All right. Link below. New shows on the network. So we're branching out. We have some new shows that we're doing, some new shows that we're hosting. Freaky Fauna Fridays. Comes out every Friday. It's an animal show. DW Conspiracy Shack. We host those guys' show. It's a conspiracy podcast.
They're fun.
It's a lot of fun. And then The Schmoke is a comedy podcast with some local legends here in Hardin County, Ohio. Links for all those shows are below. Please go check them out. EncounterQuest vote. Once again, we are speakers at EncounterQuest. The vote for that's below. You get a vote for our topic. It's Arkansas Giant Killer Centipede, Florida Pig People, The Untold Stories of Mothman, the Leelanau Lake Monster, and who am I forgetting?
Mothman.
No, the Chinese Alps Giant Salamander.
Oh, okay. Did you say Mothman?
Yeah, The Untold Stories of Mothman. No, you're good. I couldn't remember it either. There's 5, and I always forget one. It's always a different one I forget.
Yeah.
We are sponsors and vendors at Squonkapalooza, and we may well be speakers.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a ball.
Yeah.
Last week, the promo came out for that, so make sure you check that out.
Family-friendly event as well.
It's going to be awesome. And speaking, I just said 2 shows. We're going to a whole bunch of shows this year. Go to our website. I think I got most of them, at least for the first half of the year, on the website. But if you're coming to a show, let us know. I will try my best to remember your name and your face. I'll at least remember one of them.
Yeah, I'm better with faces.
Depends on how. It depends on your profile picture.
Oh no, I got to see you in person.
Like if you look like a bear, like a photo of like a teddy bear or something, I will not remember. That happened once. But yeah, let us know you're coming to an event and stuff like that because it's a ball. We're super happy to hang out with everybody. Come say hi to us. We're just people.
Yeah, we are just people. We like meeting people. It's the spice of life.
But I have to say this. If you're looking to contact us to get on the show or something of that nature, whether you're an author, a witness, anything like that, please do it through the email now. Instagram got too messy.
Ooh.
Literally, I'm sure there's people on there I forgot about. Nothing against you. But for one point, we had 10 to 15 people contacting us like a week to do something like that.
Dang.
Through Instagram. And it just got too much.
Yeah.
And everybody's Instagram handles are really weird, so it's like, I can't remember them.
Use the email.
And that's cryptidsthecornpodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, man, I know. And I miss the old one. But you know what? It's time to get the new one. But
And we're slowly switching over. We still have business cards with the old one.
Right.
And it's not like it's a dead email, so if you email that one too, it's fine.
Right. Just love the name.
And we have new reviews. As Justin from Appalachian Intelligence says, when we get love, we like to show love. So we have a new review. It's by Bear Creek Stalker. And this was posted the 1st of the 18th. Before I read this review, if you post a review, it's Apple Podcasts is the best place to post a review and a 5-star. We only read the 5-star ones, just so everybody knows. Mm-hmm. Post a 5-star review, Apple Podcast. If you don't hear it on here, it's probably because sometimes it takes like a week or so to get them published actively.
It's very strange.
It's weird,
and sometimes it doesn't show up
at all.
Yeah.
So if we didn't see yours, shoot me an email. I'll read it. Just let me know because it's Apple Podcasts. It ain't us.
Right.
I've read everyone on Apple Podcasts so far. But yeah, as of recording this.
Correct.
But yeah, so Bear Creek Stalker. I'm going to try to read this. It's got a couple nice words in here. The title is Another Arrow in Your Cryptid Quiver. Your future self is glad you decided to listen to these guys. And here's his actual post. Been listening to Cryptids of the Corn for a couple weeks now, and I'm loving it. I ran out of my other shows and was grasping for some new mana when I stumbled across these guys. You won't be disappointed. Guys, if you're still reading reviews, it would be great if you could deep dive into the Lima, Ohio predator sighting and the photo that the doctor took that raised questions, also the nearby UFO. And then do some heavy lifting on the Bigfoot and the cloaking, teleportation, and mind speak. Need more awareness of the realities of the woo. From Ed from Loveland. Well, Ed, you're going to be pleasantly surprised here in a minute, but we got some Patreon people to go through first. But I got a story about Ed's review.
Yeah, well, he just turned my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a fun one.
I'm like a turkey that just spotted a zipper across the woods.
There you go. That's from our Cryptids and Coffee show. So new Patreon members. Once again, we do have a Patreon page. It gets all of the episodes of all of our shows with no ads, plus its own individual episode once a week, plus other content. There's Discord. We do hangouts. We do movie nights. And that's according to whatever tier you pick. So make sure you read the tier description. We also do like Patreon t-shirts for certain tiers, mini cryptid figures. Just go check it out if you're interested in that kind of thing. But our new Patreon members, here's their shout out. Bill Brown, Tosh Collins, Tribal Citizen, a.k.a. Texas Poon Tappa.
Ooh, all right.
That is his name. That's what I read. So, Spencer Porter and Doc Holmes.
Oh, okay. We know a couple of those personally.
Yep.
And a special shout out and thank you to the Texas Poon Tappa. I mean, we really appreciate all you guys.
I got to give a special shout. Oh my gosh. I get special shout out to Tosh. So Tosh runs basically a fishing page I'm close to. We did an event together for ice fishing safety. And he also runs a program for like help educating local young anglers. I forgot the name of it off the top of my head, but he takes donations for that. So you get a hold of him on our Facebook page if you would like to donate to youth anglers of Indian Lake, Ohio. But no, yeah, I like Tosh a lot. And you may hear his voice soon.
Bum, bum, bum. Foreshadowing, dramatic irony.
But going back to Ed's post.
Yes, that piqued my interest a little bit.
So this is a very unique story. It's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're not going to dive into... So Ed, I completely flipped the script last night. we were going to do the big muddy monster this week.
The big what now?
Muddy monster.
Oh, okay, I thought you said bunny.
No, muddy monster. There are the bunny monsters, but the big muddy monster. But as I was doing that, I read your review, and I'm like, let's do that.
Yeah, that's local.
We're not going to go into the mind speak, the Bigfoot stuff super hard this time, because we're going to cover the story, because there's a lot of angles of the story to cover, but we're definitely going to talk about this stuff. But, we'll definitely do more of the Bigfoot woo later.
So, I'm going to get this straight. I'm just going to take a guess. We're covering the Lima predator?
Yes.
Now, this is not what I came to mind when I think Lima predator.
Lima Glimmer Man.
Okay, Glimmer
Let's
Man.
go Glimmer Man, or Glimmer Creature.
Oh, predator as in like the
Alien
the
versus Predator.
Oh, okay.
But this, I'm going to try to read this site because I love to shout out the sites I use. But this is a weird site. But it's BRUMAC at mysite.com. This is Jan's Weird Experience.
Jan's?
Yeah, that's her name, Jan.
Okay.
Predator in the Woods. We're going to talk about Jan for a while first. But her husband is of interest too, and her nephew. And her husband, so this is an Allen County sighting. Just Cartersville School is the school involved. But it was on Missing 411. David Politis did a big thing on this. It's a really big story.
How have I not heard about this?
And it's really to do with Jan's husband, I think, is why it got so big. Not saying the sighting isn't amazing.
Yeah.
But why we're going to talk about her husband later.
This ain't a Jan that we know, is it?
I don't think so. I know her. I've seen her husband.
Oh. Okay.
And he's a super high up ufologist. But he's an ex-physicist and stuff like that.
Okay.
He worked at ONU.
Interesting.
Like 2 blocks away.
Do I know this feller?
I don't know. I'll show you his picture. I got his picture.
Okay. So this is very local.
Very local.
Okay.
This was
I'm all in.
a couple years ago. Yeah, that's why.
Wait, this was just a couple years ago?
I think so. It's kind of hard to find the actual hard date. I'm going to say it's 2008.
Well, that's a little more than a couple, but still fairly recent.
I mean, super recent. But I don't know.
I just graduated high school.
When did? Let's see. I'll tell you the phone she had in a second. When did the BlackBerry Pearl come out? Probably 2008.
Ooh,
Blackberries were before I was in high school.
Yeah, they stuck around for a little bit, but it was mostly for people that did it was like the business person's
I
phone.
think this is poor research on my end, but 2008. I'm going to say.
Well, I'm looking up BlackBerry Pearl right now. Let's see here. BlackBerry Pearl. So give me a year. Ooh, first release September 12, 2006.
So I'm going to say 2008 is probably a good guess.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So this, ready to get into the story?
Oh, yeah.
So Jan's a big deer hunter.
Okay.
Which is not uncommon for our area of Ohio.
Oh, no, not at all.
Literally, she hunts that. I don't want to give out because I actually, through my own knowledge of the area, found out where this was.
Okay, well, don't tell anyone.
I'm not going to tell where these people live, but because they never released it. But I'm like, well, I know where that school is, and I know the woods, and I was like, I backtracked it because I'm like,
yeah, let's not talk about that.
But it happened near the Cartersville school,
Cool,
which
okay.
is out in the edge of Cartersville in the country. Mm-hmm. But this is still the line. Cartersville gets lumped up with Lima.
It is. I mean,
it's a suburb.
You're right.
But yeah, so this isn't in downtown Lima or nothing like that.
No.
This is in the woods. It was Wednesday, September 29th, the next to the last day in September. And the hunting season in Ohio was only 4 days old. The day started cool and damp. It became a beautiful, warm day with a nice sunset. You know how that is. Those September days. Mm-hmm. They can start out real cool, especially early or late September.
Nice brisk morning.
Yeah, they can start out real cool and they can still get pretty nice. But Jan was anxious to begin hunting. Like I said earlier, she's a big, avid deer hunter. Mm-hmm. Her method of hunting consisted of waiting and watching while she was seated in a tree stand. A seat of her stand was about the top of a 15-foot tall ladder. Her seat was the northwest corner of a large wooded area surrounded by a planted field, low-density residential area. Her seat faced to the east and is surrounded on all sides by trees. So she's in the middle of the woods. So the directions you can keep in mind, if not, I'll remind you later for the story, of just kind of where the things she witnessed came from and where other things were happening at the same time.
Okay.
So that's kind of what makes this sighting very interesting and unique, is because a lot of correlation happens.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's just typical big deer hunter. I really can't wait to get into her husband. But she has a very phenomenal experience herself. She's not a big UFO person as far as I can tell. It's kind of like me and Emily.
Okay. I understand what you're saying now.
Not that Emily doesn't like any of this stuff, but there's a
Not-
difference in our level of interest.
That's true.
So she didn't hunt in the morning, but did climb up in a 15-foot tall seat to test her newly installed bow hanger. So basically, she has this thing on the side of her tree stand or her seat that she can hang her bow on. That it's still up, so she can grab it real slow if she were going to take a deer.
And be on the ready with
Yep.
it. Yep.
She took a picture of her bow in the hanger. She took this picture on her BlackBerry Pearl model 8130 camera phone. So the actual type of photo or the actual type of camera in the photo comes up later because there's some weird visual phenomena that's going to happen with the photo. The phone records and dates for each type of picture, the spiral image, the number of pixels horizontal and vertical, the total number of byte size are recorded on each picture file. So all that data is incorporated into the picture. So now we take that for granted that it's always in this. Keep in mind, this is 2008. That's kind of when this stuff really started to get rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important. Here's that first photo. Everybody can look it up. You go to this website, they do a nice job. It's just a photo of the bow in the hunting stand.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I see it now. I was looking for something in there.
No.
Past the bow. Okay.
There's nothing in there.
Okay, nice little bow stand there. Looks good.
Oh, this is 2010. My bad. What did I say?
8. So it's close
2010.
enough. Close enough.
Jan had a strange experience while sitting in the trees late that afternoon and evening. She went to her tree stand. So that was the morning. She took that first picture. Now she comes back about 5:30 and sat. A squirrel were dropping nut pieces on her head. The animals and birds were chirping and moving and making noises. So squirrels do that. Squirrels will throw stuff at you. I've had it happen, not hunting, but just in the woods. Squirrels will literally drop stuff on your head because they want you to move. To occupy time, she was texting and playing on her phone. Means of silent communication, the author states. At about 6:21 p.m., she decided to take a photo of herself in the tree stand. She was facing east and the sun was at her back. She held the camera above her and to her left. The sun was behind her, low in the west, with the light filtering through the trees, tree branches. She took the first photo of the camera a bit above her head and then her left, so she could get a good photo looking down past her at the ground. So I know that was a really wordy. Basically, it's her it's like somebody standing behind her looking down at the ground where she was hunting.
Okay.
With her in the hunting area in the same picture.
So she wanted to get the full scope
Yep.
of her up in the tree stand up there and seeing the ground below her.
She decided to take a second photo. She took the second photo and didn't like it, so she deleted it. Suddenly, the woods went quiet. Noise stopped. The silence was weird. It was so surprised and unnerving. She wrote a text message to her friend. So this was weird enough that she actually sent a message, and I have the message for you.
Ooh, what's it say?
So this is at 6:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Something is wrong. The woods just went dead silence. No squirrels, no birds, no crickets. It's super odd. So that's the literal text from her that she sent to her friend as this was happening. She thought a coyote or maybe a black panther or some other predatory animals were causing the quiet. She knows, for examples, that this happens, being an avid hunter, that when animals know a predator's around, they go silent.
Mm-hmm.
She then became aware of a weird visual effect was moving rightwards across her field of vision at an apparent distance of maybe 15 to 20 feet. She described it as if looking through a saran wrap bubble. Perhaps it was more adequate comparison would be a mirage above a hot road.
Okay.
So that kind of distortion effect.
Yeah.
She compared the distortion to the scene being somewhat like the effects of the invisible creature in the Predator movies, the alien there. The distortion was high in altitude, around 15 feet above the ground, perhaps even 20 feet or 25 feet above the ground at some points. She took her glasses off, rubbed her eyes, and first thinking it may be a floater, put them back on, and the thing was still there. It was moving to her right from about 15 degrees to her right side ahead to about a 45-degree angle. Then it disappeared. Things looked normal, and she could hear the sounds again. This website does a really good job. I'm not going to be able to do audio, but does like positions and angles and stuff like that. So basically, at this point, if you watch her in the Missing 411 documentary, I believe it's The Hunted. It's the last story in that documentary. It kind of describes it as not being an actual creature shape. So this isn't Bigfoot shaped. This isn't human shaped.
Was it more like a bubble?
More like an octopus.
Oh.
Or really not defined shape. You know, have anybody ever seen an octopus crawl? They don't really have a defined shape if they're moving. Like, you couldn't take a silhouette and really pick what out that is.
Right.
So she sees this thing, and it looks like it's kind of climbing through the trees, right to left.
So it was like on the tree.
But it wasn't affecting the trees, but it looked like it was using the trees.
Okay.
And like a big blob.
But it wasn't bending the branches over?
As far as from what I found, no.
Okay.
It just almost like a big blob moving through the woods, right in front of her.
Okay.
As she recalls, she held the camera in her right hand, about 1.5 feet from her face. So the scene in the view screen would be focused for her eyes. Pointing the camera in the direction of the distortion, she took a picture. As she recalls, the picture was taken immediately after the distortion disappeared. The picture shows, or should show, the nearby trees, but that's not what the picture shows. Bum, bum, bum. It shows this. I'm showing Jay.
Oh, okay. It looks like a... Shoot, are we allowed to post these, or...?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I'll try to. If not, look up this website. I'll tag the website in it.
It almost looks like sunlight shining through, like a sun flare in your camera lens or something.
But do you see the hair in it?
Oh, hair?
Look off to the side. Like there's something standing right in front of her. Big and hairy.
Yeah, okay.
That's not what she's seen.
No, okay.
A minute or so later, she took another picture of herself, one that was shown below, and it's her all excited, smiling. And there's nobody else, like she's taking these pictures. So she sat for 1.5 hours more in the tree until about 7:45, and she came to dinner. She had guests that evening. She didn't think to mention this strange experience to anybody. So it's kind of a weird thing. So she sat in the tree stand for about 1.5 hours, just kind of frozen.
After her experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was anxious, but she wasn't hunting anymore. She just was sitting there. And then she went to dinner like normal, didn't say anything to anybody. This is weird because a lot of encounters, they feel like this immediately after, like they shouldn't talk about it, or they don't want to talk about it, or they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a subconscious thing to where you go back to normal.
Right. You snap out of it.
But she would have told, yeah, it's just weird. Mm-hmm. But it's like not even snapping out of it. It's a little extra. Like it's purposely blocked.
Yeah.
So after dinner cleanup and the movie with the guests she had over, where they left, the Facebook message she saw from her nephew, a high school student, there was a sighting by a number of students and faculty members at the high school during band practice just before dark. High above the school, about a mile northwest of her tree stand, this is what he wrote. We were playing tonight on the field, and just as we were starting to get dark, a huge bright light appeared over the field and began to move sideways. In a matter of 5 seconds or so, it disappeared, getting smaller and smaller every second. About 5 minutes later, it reappeared. This time it was an amber in color. I know of 4 people who also saw it, and according to the upperclassmen, the same thing happened last year, and they actually stopped rehearsal.
Okay.
So weirdness.
So it's not just Jan experiencing this.
So different phenomena, same time.
Yeah.
And we find out that, so let me keep reading.
Okay.
I asked him what time he responded. Jan asked him what time. 7:50 to 8 o'clock, or about 1.5 hours after Jan's phenomenon.
Just going to say that, yep.
That's when the second one appeared.
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird. Whether or not the high school sighting is connected with what Jan saw, is a fact is that an immediate effect on her when I mentioned this to Jan and the other guests at the house. She suddenly realized that she hadn't told anyone of her own experiences. So she described in considerable detail what she recalled about the forest going silent and the appearing of the moving distortion. Later on, in further discussions, she recalls that she has actually emailed a brief description of her forest silent, or of the forest going silent, to her friend. They called it an email, but it's like that early text on the BlackBerry.
Right.
It's that shorthand email.
Yeah.
I was first confused about that. I'm like,
it's BlackBerry tech now.
Yeah.
The way those work, yeah.
So during further discussion the following day, she recalled that she had taken strange photos in the distortion after it seemed to disappear. So I have analysis of the photo and stuff like that, but let's talk about the sighting first.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go over it really fast, like the speedy version.
Quick overview.
She goes in the tree stand in the morning, nothing weird. Comes back about 5:30. Squirrels, animals, crickets, all kinds of noise.
Normal.
Stops. Instantly.
Not normal.
Like a bubble. This weird, I'm going to say gelatinous, even though she never used that word, but this weird fluid thing seemed to be crawling through the trees, or at least moving around them.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a distortion of a heat mirage or something like that. She completely blanks. She takes a picture of it without remembering she took a picture of it, and it shows a sunbeam with a hairy figure behind the sunbeam, and then keeps going. And then she takes a normal picture. She has this weird feeling of forced forgetfulness. And then her nephew messaged her, hey, a UFO was seen over the school. Why would your nephew message her? We'll get into that later.
Okay. Okay. I already know.
Yeah. But so it's just weird. This whole thing is weird.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious. I mean, obviously, we all probably wish we were there to see it, but I just want to see how its locomotion through, like what it actually looked like.
If you watch The Missing 4-in-1, they do a really good job, and it really reminds me of like an octopus crawling over rocks.
Okay. Just kind of, yeah, like, what's the word to say? Like an amoeba moving
Kind
through
of.
a
Yeah, it's
cell.
very fluid in its motions.
Yeah.
But no hard pieces.
Right, yeah.
Not like a Bigfoot swinging through the trees. 'Cause that's, without ruining the ending, that's what a lot of people say this was.
It's like a camo Bigfoot.
Yeah, moving through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Now, I'm not saying maybe it has a whole distortion field.
Mm-hmm.
That just happens to be what it looks like. But super weird. What do you think so far?
What you just said. Super weird.
This is a weird thing.
And it's so local to us. That's craziness.
Yeah, we could drive out. I know exactly where this took place.
Yeah.
I found it last night just with a cursory search.
Well, it's getting my mind going if it's... Now, let's say if it is a Bigfoot or something, is it moving interdimensionally and this is just all you're seeing?
Save it.
Okay.
Let's save it.
So there's that one angle I'm thinking of. The other angle I'm thinking of is we talk about it sometimes, these sky creatures.
I did not have that written down.
So that's kind of the other thing in my head. Maybe it's one of these like coming down and whatever it moves through. And the
UFO is also seen at the same time.
See, I mean that's what made
It's
me
odd.
think of this. So if it's moving through, maybe it is like because we talk about like the manta ray kind of or amoeba-like creatures. It's kind of making me think of that. But if someone's getting this close of a look at it, maybe they do have some sort of a. Why you can't see them ever in the sky or very rare to see them. They do have that distortion type biology, whatever. I don't know how else you describe it, but to them, to where they can move in this sort of manner or way where they distort. I don't know.
Save it.
The light around them. I don't know.
All right, let's talk about the analysis of the photo. This is going to get really wordy with stuff that I don't quite get. But this has been heavily...
Don't worry. I'll guide you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I need it every once in a while. So, analysis of the photo. I saw that science in the woods was strange, but nothing compared to the strangeness of the optical distortions that were moving through the trees. Whatever it was, it appears it left quite the imprint on the photo that Jan took. So, there's a lot of stuff recorded in this photo. It's not just a weird photo. Mm-hmm. A lot of weird stuff happened with this photo.
Okay.
Below is the picture once again, the distortion left to right. The picture below shows what the normal, they also do a picture of what it should look like from that same position, the same angle, and what it does look like. Yeah. It's super weird. It's like something literally standing directly in front of her.
And blocking the camera.
And I'm in the hair and the sun and stuff like that. Everybody's like, oh, why was her hair? We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So as it can be seen, the distortion shows that there should be trees and foliage, about 10 feet in front of her and 50 foot beyond that. The tree image shows sharply focused on something that was directly in front of her. There's no way that a normal optical or operation of the camera under normal optical conditions of this scene could result in a distortion picture of this nature. There are two major anomalies. The first of all, where the picture was taken at so once we're going to get into some words.
Okay.
Spectral resolution of 1,024 pixels horizontal and 768 pixels vertical. Yet the picture taken is at 528 by 400.
Okay, so
the picture is resized on her phone. Second, this other picture of the bite size is over 200 kbs whereas the size of this picture is only 43.2 kbs.
So it's been shrunk down, like when you're sending a picture over an email and
It's
like
been compressed.
compressed. There you go.
But we're going to talk about that because it shouldn't. The BlackBerry can't compress photos.
Oh, okay.
Consider the resolution. The camera has only 3 optical resolution settings: large, 16 by 2 or 1600 by 1200, medium, which is what hers was, should have been set on, that 1024 by 768, and small, which is 640 by 480. However, the spiritual resolution of the anomalous photo is recorded is 526 by 400. This is an anomaly. Oh my gosh.
An anomaly.
Yeah, spectral resolution. Jan did not try to change the resolution. She investigated the camera, but it hadn't altered with the photo at all. But even if she had tried, she could not have set the camera to this setting. How did the camera get to this unusual resolution? With regards to the image size, note that the total image size in bytes is typically around 200 KB or more for a picture of medium resolution. Isn't just the result of the lower, so the byte size isn't just a result of the lower spiritual resolution. The pixel resolution ratio and the medium size of the anomalous photo, blah, blah, blah. It's really small.
Yeah.
But the picture size and the normal ratio should be 306 KB, and it came out to 43.2 KB.
So way less.
But it should be that big.
Right, it should be, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's
7.5 times or 7.1 times smaller than it should be. The difference of this byte size ratio must be the result of a reduced number of brightness levels, i.e. the brightness scale in the anomalous photo is considered less than the same scale of the normal photos taken by this phone. The process program shows 10,000 or 100,000 color levels for a normal picture, but only has 27,000 for the anomalous one.
okay.
So the photo on the phone did stuff that shouldn't be possible by the phone.
Correct.
I know that's a big word mumble. I just mumbled it all up, but it was resized to a size that is not an option on the phone for 2010.
Right, and I get that. That makes sense.
And then it had a factor of the storage capability should have been like 306 KBs. And it was only 43.2 KBs.
Which is way smaller.
But they cannot make that one make sense. That's the one that's more impressive because it should be this size and it's not. And they don't understand why it's not that size.
So whatever this thing was is like physically affecting the phone's, I don't know.
Internals. It has to be.
Yeah.
Or it's doing it on purpose. We're going to talk about alien abduction and stuff like that later. That she may have not been sitting in the tree stand for an hour and a half.
Oh. Ew. Angle I didn't even think of.
Yeah. So the hair experiment, we're just going to cover this really quick. They did a whole bunch of recreations with the photo to see any possible way it could be her hair in the photo. Mm-hmm. It does not look the same. They cannot make it look the same. So I'm not going to go super into that. They did it like 200 times. And we're going to talk about what her husband does for a living.
Okay.
And it was photo anomalies.
Okay.
Before he was a UFO guy.
Oh, okay.
So this is a big deal. Like he went through this with a fine-tooth comb to disprove it.
Yeah.
To make sure, like he went through hardcore to prove that it was fake.
Right.
Or that it was an accident. Not fake. He's not calling his wife a liar.
No,
but
the phone malfunctioned or something was wrong. Like something was up.
He does whole talks on this.
Yeah.
Not this one photo.
Not whatever this thing was doing it.
Magnetic experiment. There have been occasional suggestions that the presence of a strong electromagnetic field. People say that happens with UFOs and stuff like that. The upper part of the BlackBerry contains a viewing screen, and the lower part contains the control button. Placing the end on a magnet on the top of the phone has little to no discernible effect on the photo that's taken. When the magnet is moved lower, the camera is turned off, and the screen went blank. No photos could be taken with the magnetic field in effect. So basically they're saying the stronger the magnetic field, it's impossible for this to be a magnetic manipulation. Okay. Because the BlackBerry had a magnetic control. And if it's in the presence of any magnetic field, it turns off.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason they're BlackBerries around anymore. Conclusion, and this was this guy's conclusion, not mine. There is no conclusion yet.
Oh.
This is offered a reasonable documentation of obvious with photos of the strange optical effect combined with the strange effects on the camera.
Conclusion?
There's
no
no
conclusion. Oh, shoot.
I do have more on the UFO real quick, though.
Okay.
It's strange lights. Note, this is a sighting that occurred.
At the school. This is a sighting that happened at the school, not Jan's.
Between 7:50 and 8 p.m., about an hour and a half after sunset. Following provided further details of the sighting reported in the text above. This particular event took place the 29th of September, Wednesday night. The outdoor high school band rehearsal. It was dark behind all, and when they were practicing the same drill move, maybe 8 to 10 times, I remember feeling that this was momentous, and I could tell by the groans and expressions of those around me when the monotony was getting to them as well. I remember the music beginning to play in the last few measures of the song. The heat of it in Saigon. The heat of it is on in Saigon. Sorry, is the name of the song they were rehearsing.
Oh, okay.
The saxophone section stood right. You can tell this is by a band nerd. I should have had Emily read this. She's a band nerd. The saxophone section stood right in the center of the field, and the clarinet section was right behind us. You'll see why this is important, he states. All of a sudden, I began to notice bright lights in the sky. There had been plenty of airplanes earlier, so I had mind to dismiss it as an airplane, when a guy said it was something else, not an airplane. I looked up, and the two of us followed for about 3 to 5 seconds. Whatever this thing was, it was moving. It was moving right and got smaller and shrank even more by the second until it was gone, as if there was nothing there at all. I actually remember looking over at the guy next to me, and he was just looking up, his mouth agape, and my eyes were probably wide open. The thing is, I was dumbfounded. It all happened so quickly, our minds couldn't process it. I think I was trying to rationalize when I said airplane, but I said to myself, no, airplanes don't disappear in our white, bright circles.
Right.
A few minutes later probably passed, and by the time I didn't even think two of us, my friends and I, even played for it with a while. Instead, we kind of kept staring at the sky, but this time the fellow next to me had stated asking people around us if they had seen it. He asked a girl with the saxophone player who stood up in a row behind us if they'd seen it. She got a sort of worried look on her face and went back to marching, dismissing what she just heard. By the time I'd say 5 or 8 minutes had passed since the initial light had disappeared and something reappeared again. This time it was much smaller and amber in color. It continued to travel its course to the right and then disappeared into the starry night. We saw nothing else like this before. I felt as if I was seeing something out of the corner of my eye, but it was probably just in my imagination.
Okay.
Keep in mind, this is 2010.
Yeah.
Way before drones.
Yes, definitely way before. I mean, way before drones were like a commercial thing, like
before,
toy you can go buy at the mall. Well, to shoot a mall's not even a thing anymore.
The Cridersville frickin' school. Why would they have a drone?
That and drones don't just shrink and disappear.
Well, a light on them could make it like you could have the dimming light and effect and stuff like that.
Sure, but you can still see the drone.
Well, it depends on how high up it is.
I guess so. Yeah.
Some of these big ones now are. I mean, some of the ones we know about now.
True.
Can be so high up. If it has a really bright light on it. It could definitely... Anyways, I'm just saying it would be very unlikely for this to be a drone.
True. And
unless it is a drone. Because we're going to talk about...
¿Te preocupas por tu familia? Entonces, ¿por qué darles solo huevos ordinarios cuando pueden disfrutar de lo mejor? Eggland's Best, los únicos huevos con ese delicioso sabor fresco de granja, además de la mejor nutrición, como 6 veces más vitamina D, 10 veces más vitamina E y 25% menos de grasa saturada que los huevos regulares, además de muchos otros nutrientes importantes. Así que, dales los mejores huevos. Eggland's Best, mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos.
One time, and side tangent real quick, I remember I was driving down US 30. I forget where we were going. We were going somewhere far. And I seen this weird light, like, off in the distance. And I'm like, oh, it's a UFO. Like, I thought I was seeing one. And it was like, it wasn't dark yet, but it wasn't, the sun wasn't up. It's like right in that in-between stage. So you could really see this light. And it was a constant light. And it was up high, but not like airplane height, but it was up there. And I'm like, oh, it's a UFO. Like, I'm going to see it. And we keep driving down the road, getting closer to it. This thing's not moving. We're actually getting closer to it. And I'm like, uh-oh. Like, I'm going to actually see this thing. And then we get like right under it. And I look up, but it is a drone. It's like a drone floating. And it was weird because we weren't by a city. We're, US 30, it's country. Yep. Like, it's nothing out there. but there was this drone like just floating up there. And once you got close enough, you could see it was a drone, and it was just like hovering up and down right in that one spot. But unfortunately, it was just a drone. But I really thought UFO, like for sure, because I'd never seen nothing like it before. But it was really kind of off-putting. I don't know. I just never, my first experience getting tricked by a drone, I guess.
Yeah, so my first experience with the drone was when I worked for that company in Columbus. And we were getting the boat set up outside and stuff like that, and this drone kept like hovering over us, and we had no idea who it was or nothing, so I kept flipping it off. And finally, the IT guy comes out. It's like, great, you ruined all my videos. Like, you didn't tell us you were recording us, first off. I was super mad at him.
Yeah.
And then second off, how do I know it's your drone? It
Yeah.
doesn't say anything on the side of it.
Yeah.
It's just this thing kept buzzing us while we were trying to work.
Yeah.
I was really mad. I just tried to spray it with a hose and everything.
Yeah.
It's a super high-dollar drone with the camera on it.
Well, stop recording us.
I didn't like him, though.
Yeah. Well, good. I wish you would have got it with the hose.
He was making sure it didn't close enough. So, yeah, really weird stuff's happening around this occurrence.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of weird to think about. That why would there be a drone? Why would be all this stuff in this no-name town in Allen County, Ohio, by this little tiny school? And the credits of the school is small.
Very small.
And that's coming from Ada.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're very small.
And
how many people did you graduate with?
35.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's the small class. Ours was 68.
There was no classes around me that were that big. After yours, it must have got... Like, literally,
Really?
yeah.
I remember you guys were the small. I remember because it was really small numbers that one year. And it was probably like 6 years on. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we only had 2 homerooms when we were supposed to have 3.
Yeah, we always had 3. Yep. About 30 apiece.
Yeah, no, so we had 15 and 15.
Dang.
Now,
Ish, give or take. Because
20.
people come and go.
Yeah. So why would there be any of this stuff happening? Why would the UFOs be interested? Why would there be sky creatures? Why would the government be interested in this place?
That must be one hell of a band.
No, not to demind or whatever, however you say that word. Jan. Her incredible sighting.
Demean. There you go.
I can't speak. Everybody knows it.
It's all right.
I don't think this has anything to do with Jan. Personally.
No, I think she would just happen to be there at the right time.
I think it has to do with her husband. Even we want to go the government angle, because I kind of lean towards that. I'm going to talk about Bruce Maccabee. So Jan never gave her last name, but we know who her husband is.
Oh, way to give it away.
Bruce Maccabee is somebody we have to talk about. He is a PhD. So Bruce spent his early years in Loveland, Vermont. After high school, he studied physics at the Worcestershire Polytechnic Institute in Worcestershire, Mass. He got his BS in physics. And then at the American University of Washington, D.C., he got his MS and his PhD in physics.
Oh, sweet.
So he's got every physics degree you can get.
Yeah. He sounds intelligent.
And everybody at home, listen to him talk. He's a very interesting man. Anyways, where was I? In 1972, he began his long 36-year career in the Naval Surface Warfare Center, presented headquarters in Virginia. He has worked on optical data processing. He has worked on optical data processing generation and underwater sounds with lasers. Various aspects of the Strategic Defense Initiative, the SDI, ballistic missile defense programming, the naval ship defense using high-powered lasers and development of optical sensors and detecting deadly materials, commonly used in CBDs, chemical and biological warfare.
Gosh, dang.
This man... Everything with the government you can do with physics, he's done.
Wow.
So, real quick, I'll go over that list again. Ballistic missiles, the Navy, defense, chemical warfare, biological warfare, everything like photo analysis. Yeah.
He's got some connections.
Yeah. And he's just, this guy lives 10 miles from us, 12 miles from us.
Still?
Yeah. I think, we'll talk about that.
No, he don't live there anymore. He's gone. He's not in this area. Let's go find him.
So Bruce Maccabee has been an active UFO researcher, though, since the late 60s.
Wow, okay.
He joined the National Investigation Committee for Aerial Phenomena, NICAP. We talk about that in these circles a lot. He's an active researcher for MUFON in 1975 and subsequently appointed to the position of the State Director of Maryland. So this is when he was on the East Coast.
Okay.
Position he held for 30 years. So he was doing this while he was working for the government.
Wow. That's not something you'd really imagine.
This man's weird.
Yeah.
And he does not talked about a whole lot
No.
And I think it's because he's kept a low profile.
Oh, and here we go, blowing the lid off him.
Yeah.
His whole life.
No, he's been talked about other times. I'm just saying.
Okay.
He doesn't himself come out and talk a whole lot. 1979 is instrumental in establishing the Fund for UFO Research and was the chairman for about 13 years. He presently serves on the national board of the funds. His UFO research and investigation, which are completely unrelated to his naval work, he makes sure he says that a lot. Were at Kenneth Arnold sightings. He's done all kinds. Literally, there's a list of sightings he's worked on. That's some of the biggest and best sightings that you've heard of and you've never heard of.
Okay.
We're probably going to do a whole episode later on about just the sightings he worked on.
Okay.
But the famous ones like Gulf Breeze, he was the lead researcher on that. Wow. He's the real life X-Files guy.
Yeah, and I can't believe it's been so close for so long.
He's also done historical research and was the first to obtain the flying disc file from the FBI.
Wow.
He's the one that got something from the FBI.
Now that's saying something.
Yeah. If you rustle actual information from a 3-letter agency, you're the man.
Good on you, yeah.
He's also an accomplished author and co-author of 3 dozen technical articles and more than 100 UFO articles. Gosh. Including many of which appeared in MUFON Journal, MUFON Symposiums, proceedings. He wrote the last chapter of the Gulf Breeze sighting. This man is incredibly accomplished, both with his military career, in which he was a private civilian in the military, but his military technology career and his UFO research career. He was the one that was walking the line between the two, more probably than he should have.
Okay.
Bruce is also accomplished pianist and an organist who performed from 1997 and 1999 at the MUFON Symposium every year.
That's awesome. Okay.
He now lives somewhere hidden in Ohio.
Yes.
Not very hidden. I have his address.
Okay.
I'm not going to give it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We should go talk to him.
Yeah.
Literally, from this story, there's only 2 houses it could be.
Okay. Well, still enough.
I wouldn't. He definitely, I think he's a gun owner.
Or a laser owner, it sounds like.
He developed the naval lasers.
Yeah, he probably has a drone already programmed to fly over your house.
So
and shoot a laser beam in your window.
This is a hell of a story.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ed from Loveland,
for suggesting it or bringing it to our attention.
Now let's get into some stuff. I want to do the government angle real quick.
Okay.
And this is actually, no, I don't. I want to talk about just Jan's sighting real quick. Let's take out the UFO scene at school. Let's take out Bruce's history. Just Jan's sighting. There's one that does not get talked about for a possible explanation that I have personally experienced.
Okay.
This sounds very familiar. I actually accidentally said it earlier. A severe optic migraine.
Oh, okay.
And an optic migraine is pressure that gets pushed on your optic nerve, which causes optic distortions. Literally what she describes is how I know I have a migraine coming.
Okay.
It's what you get first. I don't have any pain first. I don't feel sick yet.
You just see
this big blob of distorted, it looks like a heat mirage. And they move.
Okay. So the only thing I've had an optic migraine twice in my life. Whatever I see, first it's my peripheral vision's gone.
So that's my second thing.
Okay.
I get this big blob, like a jellyfish that moves into my field of view.
See, and then I also get, first it's my peripheral, and then I get whatever I'm directly looking at is like a blob. It's like a gray blob.
See, mine's a little different. My whole eye turns off after.
Okay.
Like, I just can't see out of it. Like, it all disappears.
Yeah.
So, and then it can leave you feeling very disoriented. It can leave you feeling very sick. It can leave you feeling very weird. Mm-hmm. So this may explain what she's seen and why it wasn't affecting the background behind it and why she started doing weird things. Like, I get so confused. Like, I can't read. I was trying to start my car and I was like putting the key into the radio. Like, I was like trying to leave work because I was having a migraine.
Yeah.
And it makes you so confused. So let's say she turned the photo around. Keep in mind the sun was behind her. There's hair in the photo. She could have turned the photo the wrong way and took basically a blinding picture and just had some hair in it.
But
I just want to say that is an option. That is a non-paranormal explanation that does fit for Jan's sighting.
Yes.
Let's say everything else is just correlation without causation.
Okay.
That her husband just happens to be a physicist and a UFO researcher, which he is. I mean, whether she had a migrant or not, that's what he is. Mm-hmm. And there was a UFO sighting by her nephew in Cridersville.
Nearby, yeah.
And being on that skeptic side for just a second, her nephew's uncle is one of the best UFO investigators of all time.
Her nephew's uncle?
So, yeah, it's her husband.
Oh.
So why would her nephew message them about a weird light they seen in the sky?
Right.
Because his uncle, her husband, is one of the greatest UFO investigators.
So that he would immediately.
So if it's just strange lights, it doesn't have to be a UFO sighting. He just wants to tell his uncle that, hey, I seen a UFO.
Right, yep. That's the first person you're going to tell, is that family.
And it may not even be he's seen a real UFO.
Could have seen, anything.
Yeah, so I just want to, that's my fully skeptical opinion, or my fully skeptical option. That is 100% not what I think happened.
Right. Because the one thing that already discredits it is the data on the phone from the photo.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. It's that a migraine can't do that. That'd be one heck of a migraine.
Fair point. I just wanted to get that out there. Nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah.
And especially in the circles we run, because nobody likes to admit that some of this stuff can be fake.
No, never. Not in the UFO field.
Yeah. But this is one I do not think is fake.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And she is not a UFO person.
Yeah.
Her husband is, and that's kind of what her biggest discredit is, I guess, against her. Mm-hmm. Is like, oh, your husband is Bruce Maccabee.
Yeah.
You've
course
seen a
you've
UFO.
Seen something. Yeah.
Got one parked in his garage with a laser on it.
Yeah.
No, it's just weird.
Oh.
So I want to go. What do you got?
I just thought of something.
Do you want to say it now, or do you want me to go to my next one?
Well, no, I don't know. Is he in his history that you researched? Is he a jealous person?
I don't think so.
Maybe he built some spy drone. He's spying on his wife.
I think she'd know. Because he'd be building in the garage.
I'm just joking, but not insane, but how crazy would someone have to be? I'm going to build this invisible UFO cloaked device to go see what my wife's doing up in the tree stand. No, I'm 100% joking, but...
If anybody could do it,
it
would be him.
You'd be one heck
just
of
to be fair, though.
Paranoid person or something, yeah. Okay, oh, yeah.
Anybody that could do that would be him.
That would be the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard, but
hey,
it'd be funny.
Let's move on to the government stuff. So he's been retired. Let's say it was a drone. Let's say it was. So there's this whole talk with the Glimmer Man, which I really think this is what this is.
Well, I mean, now...
Being a government personnel, wearing a suit, checking on people, getting in people's houses. Like, they do these kind of like freak out scare tactic things with humans.
Yeah.
So that's the government angle. This would be definitely a guy that the government would want to check on. Whether they're screwing with him.
Right.
What if they're like, yeah, this is what we can do around your house.
Okay, yeah, just already throwing that out there, like...
Yeah, we're in your woods.
Giving you
we're
hints.
At your nephew's school.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Targeting your family. Getting their attention without being completely obvious. And so that... Oh, see, now, I was joking about him being like a paranoid, but who's probably the most paranoid people
The U.S. government.
Exactly. So...
The only people to be scared of is the U.S. government, and they're the most paranoid group.
Exactly.
Everybody's out to get them.
Exactly, because they know they're up
Especially those three-letter agencies. And keep in mind, he's probably got some vendettas. I don't know this for a fact. This is all my speculation. But he wrestled some files from the FBI.
Right, yeah.
That's not easy to do, and I'm sure you'd make some not friends doing that.
100%, especially in those groups. They got to be the all-knowing, all-powerful controllers of everything.
The FBI is not nearly as bad as the other one.
No.
Because I won't even say the other one.
Yeah.
But...
Not worth saying.
Yeah, it's still the FBI.
For sure. They still have some pull in some areas, and they still got their, I don't know, their fingers and things. I don't know if they're just like a middleman.
So, I think that's more probably what they are, at least for this kind of field of stuff.
Yeah.
I think they do more of a job than the other one, like an actual job.
Oh, for sure.
That's what they actually do work for this country on a positive light.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I don't think the other one does much for
the
positive light.
I 100% agree with that, yeah.
But anyways, what if this is the U.S. government using these technologies we think they have, checking on them? This is 2010. Glimmerman sightings started this year. The year of 2010.
Okay.
2010, 2011. We're starting, especially in Ohio. The first mirrored men were in 2008 in Ohio. There's plenty of big military bases here in Ohio, around Ohio. So what if this is one of these first testing of the Glimmermen? So now Glimmermen look more, they're harder to see, and they look more like people in more recent sightings.
And look, I mean, they're only an hour and a half from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
If that.
Yeah. I'm being lenient on that, but that's not far, especially something that's flying.
This guy has so much government knowledge and government technology knowledge.
Yeah.
This would definitely be somebody to keep a watch on.
So did he have an opinion on what she might have seen, or?
That's most of that video analysis is his. I read.
Okay. I mean, as far as what it actually was, the explanation.
He doesn't give many ever.
Okay.
He's very open-minded. He's very just here's what happened. Pick, you decide.
Yeah.
Here's the information.
The way it should be.
I like him a lot. I like Bruce Maccabee a lot.
Yeah. No, me too. Sounds like.
And he lives like really close to us.
No, he doesn't. Nope, he's gone now. He's gone.
Sure. I'm sure you cannot get into his house.
No way. I know that. I'm just saying.
The man built lasers for the Navy.
Man. But I do want to get into it. Not like that. I want to be invited to his house.
He's got a really cool. And the Hunted documentary, they show his study. It is like a mecca for UFOs.
That sounds so neat.
Well, half the books he's written.
That sounds so neat,
Like
though.
in this field.
Yeah.
In the UFO field.
Bruce Maccabee. Why haven't I don't know.
You know the name. I got books over there with his name on it.
Yeah.
The UFO books I gave you, half those UFO books I gave you last year have his name on it.
I'm just saying, why haven't we ever made this? First, heard the story before. Second, made the connection.
I heard the story last year when the documentary came out.
Okay.
But I didn't think he still lived here, first off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why haven't we known about this man more? I don't know, more.
I think he kind of keeps to himself, especially now.
Guess that
like he hasn't really
why.
been like he's still with MUFON, I believe. Now I may be wrong on that. I didn't do a super deep dive into him, but he was really active in the early 2000s. But he's definitely if he's still I don't know if he's still alive because he was older then in 2010.
Okay. Interesting stuff.
Government angle. What are you thinking?
It's with government. Anything is very, very possible with them. I'm gonna put this more even, it's more gonna be more likely them than it is paranormal. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna say like 60-40, maybe 65-35. It's government.
I can get with that. I mean, we got other options. Let's go into them. So that's the Gliverman.
The Gliverman.
The Gliverman, the new cryptid. Yeah. Now, the Glimmerman, I don't believe is a cryptid. I believe that it's not an alien either. I think it's government. I think it really is.
Oh, yeah, government tech.
There's that really scary. We actually have an episode scheduled later this season for the Glimmerman. But one of the highlight, stories, the quick version, is literally the guy was walking. It's in Idaho by that big naval base in the middle of Idaho.
Idaho makes perfect sense.
Navy again. Anyways, this big naval base in Idaho, he was walking in the woods, and his dog hated the spot, like barking, and then finally something invisible ran away.
Yeah.
And then, like, it came into his house, and he pointed a gun at it, and he's like, you get out of here, I'm going to start, like, shooting. Whatever it was, backed out, opened the door, and slammed the door.
Gone.
Like, it's physically there.
Yeah.
But it was like they did a maybe soft disclosure. I hate that word now because it happens so much.
Yeah. I think it's a lot more common than people think.
I think so too, but
it's all
they just had that documentary, that movie that came out last year. I can't remember. The guy turned himself invisible to stalk his ex-girlfriend and all this stuff because he was a government researcher.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But like literally nobody believed him was there. He's wearing the suit.
Yeah. Soft disclosure. I think truly believe it happens.
I believe in the government karma theory.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's what makes most sense about it, or else they wouldn't be showing you these things.
But so that's the government angle. Let's move on to this is a Bigfoot encounter, a fully Bigfoot, nothing else. Let's just say Bigfoot. So our good friend Sean, he had an invisible creature encounter.
Yeah, buzz right by him,
and they could kind of see it, kind of not see it. There's more seeing the effects and the environment around it.
Yeah,
but once again, the woods went silent,
which is common with Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. So is this an invisible Sasquatch? Or we know they have some way of looking, at least disappearing somewhat, whether it's natural camouflage or maybe something a little more supernatural.
Right.
We know they can do that. So is this just a good example of what that looks like when they're moving while they're in this quote-unquote cloak mode?
The thing is, it's moving. What gets me is moving through the trees and stuff. I mean,
we think I think Bigfoot used trees
sure.
A lot more than people give them credit for.
For sure. But I don't know, at least from the description, whether it being, actually a physical Bigfoot that's moving through the trees. You know what I mean?
And it could be more of that supernatural Bigfoot, whether they turn themselves into orbs or whatever.
Right, or whatever.
And that's kind of what the UFO encounter was seen, was orbs.
Yeah. What, was it ascending back to the stars?
I mean, we don't know.
I know. Just hypothesizing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm just saying. So could this be a Bigfoot? Or the more woo side of the Bigfoot, Ed, there you go.
Yeah, the more woo part of it. Is it interdimensional? Is this what interdimensional travel kind of... Is this the effects on our physical world?
As they're popping in and out. Yeah, sure.
As they're navigating that realm. I don't know if this what it just appears to be on our side.
I'm going to hop back to a different one. You kind of said it already. That she's actually seeing a UFO. That the thing in front of her was a UFO. And the only reason I said Bigfoot, before I guess I get in that, is because the hair in the photo.
Right,
She took a photo and it showed a hairy being, not a big blobby orb.
Yeah.
So was the camera able to cut through the static, the background static, basically, to see what was inside?
It showed
when the human eye couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Because, with the human eye, we talked about this, can only see a certain range of
yeah.
light.
Oh, yeah. So if it's putting off something we can't see, sure. And the camera could pick it up.
Just navigating in a different wavelength. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm 100%.
Yeah.
But what if she's actually seeing, you kind of said it with the organic UFO, I went with more the spiritual or the extra-dimensional UFO. What if she's actually seeing the UFO? And this is what happens. We've gotten all kinds of reports of people having weird bodily phenomena being close to UFOs.
And what if it's, and like I said, what if it's not a UFO, perhaps like a craft, but a UFO creature? And this is just how it moves, how it acts, how it effects it has on its surroundings.
And then we got the resizing and the weird thing with the photo. We know magnets affect it, but I mean the creature could have an EMP. I don't know what that would do to it.
Well, and I think we brought this up on a couple of shows. Like maybe some of these sky creatures use like an electromagnetic field to travel or navigate.
Yes, or they use an EMP for like echolocation.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
A whole different form. It's not, not truly echolocation in definition.
No.
But a way to see their environment with these clicks of electromagnetic pulses.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that could do this with a photo, but that's a whole nother angle.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so maybe I'll bring that 65-35 number to maybe 60-40. It could be back towards biological, something weird in a different shadow biosphere.
There you go. How about seeing an alien?
Seeing an alien.
Now, when you look at the invasion of Chestnut Ridge, which will be an episode, we're going to do this show for probably the next 40 years. Anyway, but the invasion of Chestnut Ridge, they seen Bigfoot-like creatures, but they were very tall, lanky, red-eyed, glowing, coming in and out of UFOs, seemed to have technology and stuff like that. Just because they're Bigfoot-like does not mean they're Bigfoot.
Correct.
So what if she was seeing an alien that was cloaked?
Could be. I mean, you can't rule that out either. I'll put that in like the
anything is possible.
Yeah, anything, as you heard at the top of the show. I don't know. This could be in that 5% range. I don't know. Like, I don't want to rule it out, because I really do think the government or their military-industrial complex has technology that we cannot wrap our minds even around right now, and the higher ups of it, can has these, access to these things or develop these things. I don't know, but whether it being an alien not from here, the only thing that makes me think that could be possibly is having that furry after effect in the photo.
That and the camera effect.
Yeah, the whole distortion of everything that it shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, it seems more technologically based than spiritual based, in my opinion, for that angle.
Yeah.
That more conscious, more actively knowing it's affecting technology around it.
Doing that,
and too. I don't know if the government technology could do that without... Well, we're going to talk about abduction later.
Well, shoot, if our government... created, which they probably did, all of our cell phone technology and stuff like that. Yeah,
sure. Or they got it off the Roswell crash.
Right. Or they're just figuring out, the cell phones.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Could have.
No, that's a big theory that people think that we got internet, we got all that stuff from that crash. It just took this long to, well, first off, they already had it in, let's say the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But it took that long to the retro engineer
retrofit it, and then you're sending it to the masses, but then you got to also put it out in a way in such that the masses can't like control it. You still have to be in control of it all.
Anyways, I think the internet may be alive, but it's a whole nother episode. But what if it's, I don't know. It's just weird. All right. I've danced around enough. Let's talk about, was she abducted?
Okay, yeah. You said this earlier, and that didn't cross my mind, but let's get into
this. Because she sat there in her memory, and I don't know if I've ever heard anybody talk about this angle of it. In her memory, she just sat there for an extra hour and a half doing nothing, and then went away, and like nothing happened.
Yeah.
What if she was actually abducted? The orb coming was the UFO getting towards her, and it's kind of a blacked out memory. Because we talk about them trying to, with aliens or these extra-dimensional creatures scrubbing memory and putting like owls over their memory.
I was going to say from the movie Men in Black. They wipe their mind. They shoot that thing in their face and wipes their whole mind. They don't remember the whole experience.
With a lot of abduction encounters, they like have to put something over it.
Yeah.
And they bury it. And that's why people like the communion and stuff like that. But they freak out when they see owls, especially baby owls.
Okay.
Because it's just like it looks enough. That's what the aliens use, or these interdimensional entities used to cover their memory up as an owl.
And then okay, gotcha.
And so when you see an owl, you're like,
yeah.
But she had these weird feelings. She had this weird effect. She had this optical illusion, and then she sat there for an hour and a half. What if she wasn't there? What if the photo that she took was not in the forest? It was actually on the ship, and that's why it was messed up.
All distorted and weird, yeah.
Or what if they put that in there to screw with her?
Right, yeah.
And that's why it's all messed up.
Maybe she did have a real photo of it, and then they distorted it after the fact. They went through her phone like, all right, let's do this.
Because that phone, it was a photo size in shapes and stuff that shouldn't be possible
On that phone,
The color grading was wrong. It was like it was taken with a different thing and implanted on the phone.
What if she was abducted by the U.S. government?
That could be too.
And they're okay. So here's the angle. Here's what's happening. I figured it out. So they need to know about this Bruce guy, right? All right, he has all this access to all this information. They need to know, all right, is he even telling his wife these things? Because if he's telling his wife these things, then we know he's spreading our secrets. This guy's a threat. Now they're going to go in. We got to covertly abduct his wife to read her mind and see what she knows. He probably don't tell her everything. So they found that out, and then they're like, oh, crap, we got to cover our tracks now. And they just scrubbed her mind and put this photo on there for, deflection to get her off the trail. And she went home, went on her way, had dinner with her family.
I mean, who really knows? I know you're laughing as you're saying that.
But I'm being serious.
I know. But the aliens could have done the same thing. The interdimensionals could have done the same thing. I personally feel whoever this is them trying to either speak to Bruce some way or send Bruce a message. Mm-hmm. And it could be dark, it could be positive, depending on who you think did this. If this is an abduction. If you think it's the government, this is saying, hey, you're not safe. We took your wife for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know.
Yeah, she didn't even know.
We could do this to you.
But
we can make you disappear. This really could be that shakedown threat that the U.S. government is famous for. If you believe Bob Lazar whatsoever, like he got all the blank phone calls, like they won, like when the video debuted. It's like, you shouldn't have done that, Bob. And then they hung up.
I believe him.
I don't know.
I believe him in a lot. I believe a lot of things has happened to him. I believe he went through a sincere experience. Because I believe he was a smart man.
No, this isn't Bob Lazar's episode.
I know. But I'm just saying. I believe most of the stuff with him, especially when it comes to the government contacting him, scrubbing his information, like things like that. I believe
they did delete his degree.
Exactly. So I believe him, and he experienced some things. He actually did some things, and they were keeping tabs on him. And you can't just kill the guy. I mean,
now you can't. I mean, that's the whole point. Like that's why he went out and he's like, I'm not suicidal. Bob Lazar did say that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But so this Bruce Maccabee has government connections too. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he has just as many friends as he does enemies.
Like in this field, yes.
No, in both. In the government side of it too.
Exactly.
I mean, he was a private contractor. He develops, and he never talks about what he developed, but the areas he was working in, he was probably developing some of the best, most dangerous, whatever you want to go, whatever angle. Like literally, he developed systems to detect biological and chemical warfare on the outside of a ship.
Dang.
Like, So he probably has just as many friends as enemies in the defense,
Right, in the defense realm or military-industrial complex
Thing is, he
on the world
knows.
stage. Yeah.
What's that song? He knows.
What song?
I don't know. It's a song that's like, ow, I'm not hip. But Emily, it comes up on TikTok.
Oh,
Where it's like
way out of my realm.
Yeah,
Too old
where
for
like
that.
people are looking and it's like background. He knows. Oh Lord, he knows.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, no, I really, and this is not to undermine Jan because it was her experience, but I think it was to get at Bob, not Bob. Sorry, now we're on Bob Lazar. No, at Bruce.
Bruce, yeah.
Where to get at him, where it was either the government or these beings that were, and they always, if you, I have very strong opinions on aliens in general or extra-dimensional beings, but why can't they ever just come out and say hi? It's always these weird around the way things.
Well, it might be like I don't know, like not a rule, but like a
They
law.
abducted his wife.
I
If
know.
we're going on that angle, abduct him.
But maybe they know he has like I don't know, a plan, and I don't know. Maybe they just know they can't, because if they do, it'd be bad news for them. I don't know.
See, it doesn't. It's also talking about things we don't even know exist. I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I 100% believe Jan's encounter.
Yep, me too.
I think her husband is probably one of the best ufologists to ever live. And some people may have opinions on Bruce. I don't know. I'm not big in the UFO community.
Right.
I purposely try to stay out.
Yeah. For reasons.
Yeah. But it's just, this is a weird thing, and it happened right down the road.
Yeah, it's the craziest part.
And I don't know. So what's your final opinion? Let's give our final thoughts. We've been talking for well over an hour.
Oh, dang. I think I already kind of touched on it, but I really do think it's either government related or it's just I think we might have hit on the angle of them trying to contact him through her or spy on him through her or something like that. Whether it's government or not from yours, or people or beings that inhabit this realm that we're just not aware of in our everyday normal thinking of these things actually existing, but something like that, some sort of powerful authority. I don't want to say figure, but I don't know, some sort of being that we're just not aware of that is putting its it's.
We didn't even get into the Fae folk. I forgot.
Okay.
Could be Fae folk. There you go.
Yeah, I got that angle. It could be Fae folk.
I don't like, because it's like, that's kind of the umbrella term.
Yeah.
Could be the Fae.
You're right, yeah. No, I
guess it could.
I think we're touching on stuff that this is just a weird one.
It's all around weird, and it matters how much you want to connect to it. You want to connect the nephew's UFO sighting, sure, but you got there's plenty of stuff too to like. I think we did a pretty good job about the skeptic angle, because there's plenty of stuff to point out. A lot of weird things happen in congruence with this.
A lot of dots could be connected. A lot of dots could be, I don't know, separated. But it's all in all, it is a weird experience, and I think it's good to bring it, shine a little light on it. Just let you know there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there. Mm-hmm. And if you're have your head down in your phone all the time, you're not gonna see any of it, I would say.
Yeah.
Unless it comes up and show right in your face.
But so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say 80% sure she was abducted. Now, by what or by whom?
It's a whole other.
I'm gonna say
analysis.
60% of that, 80%. So a lot of fractions here,
Yeah.
a lot of percentages. 60% of that, 80%. I'm gonna say the U.S. government. I'm blaming them for the majority of this. Just because of Bruce's background and stuff like that, and I think that's why they went for his wife and not him.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me if it's coming from the U.S. government versus an extra-dimensional or not from here.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me, saying like, yeah, look, we know where your nephew is. We
know.
took your wife for an hour and a half. We're still on you.
Right, yeah.
We don't leave. We just because you're out here playing around with these UFOs and stuff like that, just don't forget.
Right, yep.
We still own you.
A little reminder.
Yeah, and that's very U.S. government-y. And anybody that may be new to this show, I haven't done if you're new here thing in a while, and this is only an hour and a half into this episode, but if you're new to here and you think the U.S. government's not that bad, remember they have actively tested chemical warfare on U.S. citizens and Puerto Rico.
Our own people.
We literally did on the season opener. They dumped Agent Orange on Puerto Rico first to see what it did to people.
Mm-hmm. That's
We tested biological agents on the West Coast in cities.
Where you're sending your tax dollars to.
I mean, we're going to talk about the sheep kill incident too, where they accidentally killed like 8 million or 8,000 sheep. 8 million sheep. Yeah, they killed 8 million sheep. No, 8,000 sheep.
Trust your neighbors, not
the government.
Not your government.
But I'm going, I think it was an abduction most likely, and I think there's a 20% chance that just something else happened, and it just was weird. It could all be just weird. But I'm blaming the government. And I don't know if that's what Ed wanted, but that's what I'm doing. I think Ed was leaning towards the Bigfoot angle.
Yeah.
This to me doesn't even scream paranormal Bigfoot. It screams interdimensional or government.
Yeah. Something weird like that. Yeah. A not from here or a government.
Yeah.
And those could be the same thing. Or secret government.
I was like,
the deep state. The deep south.
The deep south. Little Nicky.
Yeah.
All right. I have been the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I was something magical today, Jay.
And together we're Cryptids Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We greatly appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye. Thank you for listening to Cryptids Podcast.
Please share with a friend you think would like us. It's the best way to help our show grow.
Leave a comment, rate us, a 5-star review, and remember, there is always extra content on Patreon.com/cryptidsthecorn.com.
And don't forget, stay magical.
¿No se merece tu familia lo mejor? Entonces, ¿por qué no los mejores huevos? Ahora, Eggland's Best están disponibles en deliciosas opciones. Huevos clásicos, de gallina libre de jaula y orgánicos de Eggland's, que ofrecen un sabor más delicioso y fresco de granja que le encantará a tu familia. En comparación con los huevos ordinarios, Eggland's Best contiene la mejor nutrición como 6 veces más vitamina D, 10 veces más vitamina E y el doble de omega 3 y B12. Solo Eggland's Best. Mejor sabor, mejor nutrición, mejores huevos. Visita egglandsbest.com para más información.